All right, so I wanted to make a video kind of responding back to someone who had asked me before about the Vega Trem bridge that I have on my Strat. Because I had mentioned that, like, functionally, everything is fine, and it plays fine, it's all good, everything's all good, till you have to change the strings. And I'll explain why that is. Now, just to offer some further context, if you have a guitar that has just like a bridge plate or is a non-tremolo mounted guitar, more than likely you would just put the strings through the back of the guitar if it's a string through style, or some cases it'll be something that gets strung through the bridge. It all depends on the make and the model, and there's different designs from different companies. Like the Tune-O-Matic bridge that exists on the Les Paul. You'll notice here that the tailpiece on this guitar isn't fucking bending like on my fucking Schecter, but that's another story for another time. But if you have a floating bridge on your guitar and it's not like the standard Strat style bridge, you could end up with something like a Floyd Rose double locking tremolo system, which means that in order to change the strings on here, you're actually taking the string and cutting the end off so that you can then screw this into place and lock it into place, into position. And then, after that, you lock the string again at the top of the neck. And so basically what that allows you to do is have the ability to stay in tune no matter what. Like I can do that, but now we're back. And the Vega Trem system is essentially like a step below being a Floyd Rose. So like we're not locking anything at the top of the neck, although I did put new locking tuners on this guitar. And there's nothing being locked in place down here. However, I have the ability to make the strings pretty slack by pressing the bar all the way down. And still, be in tune. Pretty crazy. Where the issues lie with this guitar is when you have to go to the back of it and put the strings through to actually feed them through to the front of the guitar. I don't know if you can even see it, but right in there, in the way back, that's where the string ends are. And you might be thinking, well, how do you even reach that back there? And this is what I ask myself every time I change the strings. So as far as just like access to the string, unless you have like a differently routed out back cavity on your guitar, it's going to be a little annoying. Vega Trem also doesn't have any information about setting up and intonating the bridge, setting the string heights or anything like that. There's no literature anywhere at all. It comes with springs. I end up swapping them out for these purple FU Tone brand ones. They're a bit, they're stronger. Yeah, they have more tension. And they're noiseless, so that's kind of cool. But, yeah, I don't know. If you can look past all that, then you're good. You'll be fine. It's a good bridge. It works, you know? It does the thing. You also want to make sure that you're maintaining tension on the strings when you're doing a string change with this bridge on this guitar, because it acts like it would on a guitar with a Floyd Rose, where the tension between the strings and the springs is like two kids sitting on a seesaw that weigh the same amount. And if one was to get up, the other one's going to drop down. So if you take all the strings off this guitar, what's going to happen is that this bridge is going to fall right through the body. And then the springs will detach from the claw back here. It's a whole thing. Yeah. But that's the same thing that would happen with a Floyd Rose. However, with a Floyd Rose style bridge, the difference is that because of the way that it's constructed, you're able to place something beneath the screws to hold the bridge in place. Like, let's say you want to just clean the body of the guitar with no strings in the way. The Vega Trem doesn't have that, so that's kind of annoying. But again, if you can look past all that stuff, it's a good bridge. As someone who is a glutton for punishment on the regular with my Floyd Rose bridges on my guitars, it's not so bad in my opinion. But some people might not feel that way. So, decide how you will. Best of luck.